Rumors are swirling surrounding one assistant coach at the University of Alabama. Stick around. Is change coming for the Tide? Much needed change, I should say. This is Way Offsides. 3, 2, let's go. Hey, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever the case may be. Welcome into Way Offsides. How you feeling, Bama fans? I need to hear you loud and proud in the comment section. Alabama is the first 9-3, or wait, what are we? Are we 9-3, 10-3? What are we? I don't know. Alabama's the first 3-loss team to make the college football playoff. To the disgust of many, to the delight of us. Should Alabama have made the playoffs? I want to hear it. Tell me in the comment section below. What do you think? Did they get a gift? I think they should have. I absolutely do think they should have. You consider the injuries, Alabama being beat up. You consider the, goodness gracious, you beat Georgia in the regular season. There's a lot of considerations that go into play now. Does Alabama look like a playoff team right now? Nah, no, they don't. And one big reason is because of their offensive line. But it sounds like there could be some smoke around a rumor that might be changing soon. Lock in with us. We're going to be covering everything you need leading up to Alabama's playoff game against the rematch against the Oklahoma Sooners in Norman. Obviously, transfer portal opens after Christmas. You're not going to want to miss that. I got a feeling it's going to be a very busy year for Alabama both ways. So you're going to want to be locked in, hit the notification bell. It's free when you subscribe. Keeps the channel free for everybody else. So let's talk Alabama. What's Alabama's biggest problem? There's several problems. Talked about this in a video already today, but I'm happy to regurgitate it because it still frustrates me. Look, I'm a fan too. I get emotional too. I get angry. Obviously, Ryan Grubb has been a little bit of an issue. He's been very, very, very lackluster at Alabama. This new age Alabama offense has not come to fruition. It looked like it was going to at a certain point in time. And then it's like Ryan Grubb just forgot what he was doing. Now, I've made excuses for Grubb and Kalen DeBoer in the sense that, yeah, they're still learning how to be SEC coaches. I understand that. But when you're constantly getting away from things that work, Ryan Williams looked like he was ready to pop off. And I know he had the touchdown drop. I know that. But he was that guy had the shimmy about him in the SEC championship game, and we just didn't throw the ball to him. You run the ball 9 times, you throw it almost 40 times. When your quarterback is struggling, you just, there's a lot of questionable things going on with Alabama. It seems like Alabama has a tendency to do well offensively, and then Ryan Grubb pulls something out of his hat that makes zero sense. There's no continuity in the play calling. It's almost like there's no game plan. It's almost like I haven't called this in a minute. Let's try it and see if it works. There's no chess match per se. And that's just what it feels like. I'm not saying that's what's happening. I'm just saying it looks that way. There's nothing to try to take advantage of what the defense is doing or to adjust to what the defense is doing. It looks like it's like battleship. There's no super deep strategy to it. You just got to say a number and a letter and see if you hit or not. So Ryan Grubb is a big problem, very big problem. Obviously, Ty Simpson has been a very, very big problem. Special teams have been a big problem. The running game has been a big problem. But a few of those things we can pin on one position group, and that's the offensive line. Now, I don't want to go too hard on these kids because the line has just been banged up. There's been a lot of shifting. There's been, the way Alabama's played the personnel on the line this year has been weird. I still think Alabama's offensive line is in flux. I think they still have guys that are too big and not athletic enough to do what Kalen DeBoer wants this offense to do. I think in a few more months, they'll be much closer to that final polished product, especially if you have an Alabama quarterback in there, which there's rumors that Ty Simpson may come back for another year. Make sure you watch that video when you're done here. It's on the channel. But the offensive line has been just ridiculous with the talent that they have on the offensive line. at Alabama, the depth that they have on the offensive line at Alabama, it's inexcusable what they're doing. And it's progressively being moving in this direction. And it started under Nick Saban. I'll be the first to say that. Like, this isn't just a Kalen DeBoer problem. The offensive line play started under Nick Saban. Bryce Young was running for his daggum life. Jalen Milroe, we harped on his short to intermediate game, but he was constantly throwing under pressure. The same things are happening to Ty Simpson. Ty Simpson just doesn't have the legs Milroe did to bail Alabama's offense out. Same thing with Bryce. He was super elusive. Ty doesn't have those qualities, which is another problem. But the offensive line, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that don't. And like Jaden Roberts is like, why? Like, what's going on? Like, he's hurt. All this coaching staff, why is he not playing? It's really hard. Like, I follow his mom on Twitter, and she's a wonderful person. So Twanisha, if you're watching this, we love you, and we love Jaden. But she's just so patient about it. Like, she makes it known, like, hey, my son should be playing, but she's so polite and professional and patient about it. I can't imagine how frustrated she must be and how frustrated Jaden must be, but I'm sure there's a reason. I just would like to know, so if you think you know why, tell me in the comment section below. Pass blocking has been terrible. The run game, blocking in the run game has been awful. It's clicked at times, and we've gotten glimpses, and that's what makes it even so much more frustrating for Alabama fans, because we've gotten glimpses of what it is when it works, and it looks beautiful when it works, but there's just no consistency. You don't know what you're going to get from quarter to quarter, and the defensive coordinators have figured it out. If you could just bring an extra guy, you're going to get in Ty Simpson's face. So what Georgia did the entire daggum game in the SEC championship. That's what Oklahoma's about to do again in Norman. Oklahoma laid that blueprint out, man. I really think South Carolina did, if you want me to be honest. But either way, the problem started before Kalen DeBoer, but it's at its peak right now. This doesn't look like a college football offensive line at all. Much less one at Alabama in the SEC. This is abysmal stuff we're seeing. There are JUCO lines out there that look better than this. There are high school lines out there that look better than what Alabama's putting on the field week in and week out. And it finally caught up with them in the SEC championship game. You cannot play like that against Kirby Smart. You can't. You blew your wad in Athens, and then you came out and got it slapped around and embarrassed. Now, there's rumors going around. I've seen a couple of tweets about it already. I don't know how legitimate they are. We're working to kind of find out. There's rumors going around that Coach Cap is on his way out. If you don't know who I'm talking about, Alabama's offensive line coach is on his way out. There are some people that are saying he's already been fired. There's some people saying that he's going to be fired as soon as the season's over. I say, okay, cool. I hope you're right. I hope it's not just a rumor. I hope this is something leaking, because Coach Cap, man, you can't do what you're doing at Alabama. You can't. Kalen DeBoer has to understand, and the man's not an idiot, so there's no way he doesn't understand this. It starts in the trenches in the SEC. You better build up your offensive line and your defensive line. If you don't have either one of those things, you are going to get run clean over, much like what happened on Saturday. Alabama's offensive line couldn't stop anything. Their defensive line could not get to Gunnar Stockton. Other side of the ball, Georgia did exactly the opposite. Now, I do think Bama's still in flux. I say this a lot. I do think Bama's still an uncomfortable football team because they don't have an identity. They don't know who they are because they're in flux. And I think right now they're overachieving, if you want me to be honest with you. I think the Tide is overachieving, beating Georgia in the regular season, making the SEC championship game, making the playoff. I think Alabama as a team right now, based off of what they've done in the second half of the season, is overachieving. They're doing a lot better than they probably should have done. I think that who they are is right now is closer to what we saw against FSU and Georgia as opposed to Missouri or Tennessee. And so it's frustrating. It's very frustrating. But I think that there's the potential moving forward for us to feel a lot better once the Tide is out of limbo. And what do I mean by that? If this is your first video with us, you have to understand that the team is uncomfortable everywhere because it is fighting against itself in terms of being what it used to be and being what it's supposed to be in the future. But there's a internal power struggle between being Alabama of 2015 and being the next generation of Alabama, being Nick Saban's team versus being Kalen DeBoer's team. It's still there in the players. It's still there in the body styles. It's still there. You don't have necessarily the personnel that you want in this offense, and it starts at the quarterback position. Ty Simpson is not the prototypical quarterback for this offense. He's not. Now, he's done well up until these last few games. A lot of people want to point at injuries, things like that. We said the same thing about Jalen Milroe last year. Like, he's got to be injured. Why aren't we sitting him? The same thing's happening with Alabama. Ty Simpson's costing Alabama football games. Some of that, it starts at the offensive line. It does. Absolutely starts at the offensive line. Now, could Coach Cap do a better job if Kalen DeBoer has his style guys in there? Maybe. But it's a risk. There's a risk associated with that because Kalen DeBoer's offensive line requires lighter size guys like Parker Brailsford. Now, it's not to say that these dudes can't be dogs and can't go out there and push some folks around. We've seen Brailsford do that for 2 seasons at Alabama. He's probably been Alabama's most consistent offensive lineman. We've seen Michael Carroll come in, and yeah, he's had a couple of bumps in the road, but overall, he's looked very, very good. I believe he just won, was appointed to the All-American freshman team, him and Dijon Lee Jr. So it's a risk, but it looks like the reward may be there, and it's hard for Alabama fans because we can't do anything. We just have to be patient, right? Next season, the offensive line should look better, but we've said that for several years. I remember a couple of years ago going, it can't be worse. The 2023 season, I think it was. It can't be any worse than it was last year. Well, it's pretty bad this year. So the rumors are flying that Coach Cap is out the door. Obviously, for me, you got a couple of guys straight up. Let's just assume that's real. You got a couple of guys straight up that I think Alabama could target. The first one being Coach Huff, who's already coached with Ryan Grubb and Kalen DeBoer. He could come in. I think that would be a good fit. We have to assume that Ryan Grubb's probably not going anywhere. He's probably going to be your OC next year as well. But the other guy, Sam Pittman. Sam Pittman at Georgia was a fantastic coach. I know he didn't do well at Arkansas as a head coach. Not many people do. Don't let that distract you from the fact that Sam Pittman knows what he's doing when it comes to coaching up an offensive line. I think somewhere in that locker room outside of Kane Womack on the offensive side, you need an SEC mind. I think you need somebody that still has that SEC pedigree. Womack on the defensive side brings that. And you've seen it. You can point at Alabama's defense all you want to in that SEC championship game. They held on as long as they could. Absolutely played lights out. Nobody's going to talk about that because they gave up 28 points. They were having to do it on short fields. They were having to do it with the offense going 3 and outs nonstop, 100%. Defense played lights out. Why does the defense look so good this year? Because you've got that SEC type pedigree in Kane Womack. I think the offensive side needs that. I think they do, 100%. So we'll see, man. I mean, tell me, do you think that if Alabama was able to address its offensive line woes, do you think that kind of frees up a lot of the other struggles we're seeing with the run game, with the quarterback? What do you think? This is your show, so be loud and proud. Tell me in the comment section below. If you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe. I'll let you know if that rumor becomes fact. I'll let you know as soon as I know. As always, subscribe, do the things, all the things. Hit the notification bells. We'll be with you all the way through the playoff. Don't worry. We'll start previewing Oklahoma in a couple of days. Say your prayers, read your Bibles, wash your hands, horns down, beat Auburn and LSU and Tennessee too. Roll Tide.